Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldus and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show.
Friday Night Flies, third fly. It's getting a little chilly in here, so I put on my hoodie. And all of you that follow my stuff online, Covenant Fish Finder or our YouTube channel, well, you obviously do, you're watching this. Anyhow, Mr. Benny, Birkenhead Benny, was in the house, taught himself a beautiful, beautiful stonefly. I've been wanting that recipe for quite some time. I'm squinting because there's a really bright light behind the camera. And tonight we've got something special that I've been working on. Nothing like going out without a bang at the end. It's a pretty involved tie. It's one of those flies that, if it's raining out, tie some. If it's not, tie something simpler. But these are very effective. Anyhow, Jordan, let's go down to the bottom camera. Cabango. We're there. Anyhow, this is, we've named this one the Introducer. Somewhat similar to an Intruder, except we're tying it on a 3/0 Sprott hook, which happens to be my favorite hook of all times. It's very effective. And I know all you people out there looking and you're saying, hey, dumbbells are on top. Well, the reason for that is that I want the hook to be swimming the other way around, so the hook's pointed up. Because if you guys have been to the Squamish River area in the last few days, you'll notice that the water levels are right back to beautiful. Very fishy. And it is plumb full of chum salmon. And there's a few coho too. The coho are kind of working their ways up a little higher on the top ends of the Cheakamus River and the Squamish. But if you're mid-river anywhere right now, it's, I'd say, knee-deep in chum salmon. And the reason we tied this guy upside down is because if you tie it the other way, there's a good chance you're going to be foul hooking fish like crazy. This is a lengthy tie, so we're going to get started on it. We're going to start with 2/0 Daiichi salmon hook. I'm going to flatten that guy out in the vise here. I haven't pinched my barbs on these guys yet, but very soon they will be pinched because it is single barbless in the river. That's your hook right here. Today we're using 6/0 black uni thread. We've got a little bit of noise in the background right now, so I'll be trying my best to dampen that. It's still pretty busy. Busy, busy, busy. So we're getting a little bit of thread on the hook here. You want to put a little bit of thread on there just as a base layer so that your fly's got something to anchor to. And on these salmon flies, they've also got an open eye as well, so if you want to throw them in tandem or whatever you want, I'll just give you a quick demonstration as to what I'm doing, because tonight I'm not working with a rotary vise. But you pull it out of the bag, and if you look at the hook, you can see it split at the top here. So you want to make sure that that hook is anchored and it doesn't open up when you get on a 20 or 30 pound chum salmon, and we all know that those guys can really pull line. Pull with the best of them. So we've got our line anchored on there. You can tie these flies in a few different varieties of colors, but tonight we're going with the chartreuse blue with a red dubbed head. So we're going to use a little chunk of polar chenille in chartreuse. You guys know by now that we love the UV materials, modern materials. So we wrap that guy down in the back. Pull it back a little bit so you're not stacking on top of itself. And we're not going to put a ton of this on there, maybe 3 wraps. All the way down and over. At this point, we're going to loop over. Lock it down. Ambidextrous. Swapping hands. Peel her back. We're going to do a little back wrap so that it lays down nice and flat. These Daiichi hooks are very sharp. So be careful not to bust your thread on it. I've done that enough today to fair warn everybody that's tying this fly. So we got this little bit of UV tail in there. Then we're going to go to a little chunk of blue marabou from my favorite fly tying material company in the universe, Superfly. Yeah, they've got their dyes down very nice. Now there's a lot of other companies out there that like to dye. I'm not sure if these guys pre-wash their dyed feathers, but they just don't seem to be so clumpy as a lot of the other brands out there. And I'm sure you guys that have been using marabou know what I'm talking about. So anyhow, take your hackle plier and grab up about 3/4 of the way up the feather. And you want to lay that guy down. And it's kind of similar with the polar chenille. You want to peel it back a little bit. And we don't need a ton of this stuff either. We're just going to give it a couple wraps. And you can get it as full as you want, but I mean, at a certain point, you start to lose the fly and it just looks almost like a fleshy pattern. Which, I mean, it's one of those patterns that you could use as a fleshy pattern. Because when they're done, you'll see they're pretty full. Anyhow, you take all that guy, peel her back a little bit. It's the thing with the marabous. It's like a bad hair day. You got to work with it a little bit to make it look pretty, real pretty. Anyhow, you back wrap that guy a little bit. Lock her down. At that point, you're going to see me lick my fingers. And you just wet that marabou. You'll see it kind of keeps it out of the way. Trick with that. So at this point, we got ourselves a nice chunk of red woolly bugger feather. I mean, if you had some long skinny saddle of some sort, but the you'll see they've got specialty feathers out there, and it's called woolly bugger. Woolly bugger hackle. I don't have the packaging; it's been since thrown away. But it's another one of those products out there that, if you Google it, you'll find it pretty quick. So you want to lock that guy down. At that point, we've got this other stuff called, I didn't have that one laid out, but I got a chunk of it here. So this stuff is called round, what is it? Round diamond braid in gold. So we're trying to rush through this a little bit. It's a pretty lengthy tie. Lock that sucker down. So this is just like your mini intruders. There's a few materials in it for sure. At that point, you're going to work your way back up. And remember when I said we had that fly, or the hook. I'm just going to show you the hook again real quick so that you know what I'm referring to. You're going to wrap that material. You can see where the break in this hook is. Just before you get to that, you're going to bring the body all the way up to there. Okay? Okay. So we begin wrapping the diamond braid. Keep it nice and tight together as we're going up. It's going to make it nice and sparkly. Give it that shimmer. Oh, we got lots of people coming through the store. Mr. Holmes is in the building.
Oh, it's complicated.
Oh yes. Nothing like going out
Ever since you had those things in your hair, it's like,
in a bang. So Mr. Holmes has just walked into the building, so you can look forward to seeing him tie something really nice. Oh yes. So we're going to lock that guy down quick. At that point, we're going to grab that woolly bugger saddle. And we're going to work it back up the middle over top of that gold flat or round braid. Work it up. I want to space it out a little bit. You don't have to get too crazy with it. I mean, the plan is to have this thing completely destroyed by a salmon or two before you lose it.
yes, at least two.
Yeah. Hey, if I get a couple fish, I'm pretty happy. Anyhow, we're gonna knock that guy off. Lock it down. You don't want to really fold it back. You want it standing up, so don't pull it back. Lock it down. And then at that point, we're going to look at what the recipe was. Oh, and we're going back to the green polar chenille. Green, the chartreuse, I should say, not green. Chartreuse. Chartreuse. We're going to lock that sucker down. Little lengthy flies. Guy can only come up with so many jokes. It's easier when you're in the background dropping jokes, isn't it? You notice that?
Yeah, it's a lot
Really,
easier.
like when I'm in front of the camera, I'm all business.
Yeah, you got a tie.
I'm all business. Because like there's a lot of things that can go wrong when you're tying a fly that's got like 15 materials. And
Yes.
breaking your thread is not one of them that you want to have happen.
It's nice that you fly.
So we got that guy. I'm gonna give it a couple wraps to that guy. Same thing. Grab your bobbin, swap your hands, wrap it back, lock it down. Same thing, we're gonna back wrap again. You don't want to trap any of that beautiful UV green or chartreuse. So you want to peel it back. At that point, back wrap a little bit, lock it down. At Mach speed. Hopefully you guys can see me wrapping
It's
because
so fast.
I can do it so fast. It'll probably come in as a blur.
Yeah.
Wow, that fly is actually starting to take shape,
I
eh,
like
Mr.
it.
Holmes?
I like it.
Okay, coming to shape. Okay, so now this is the little tricky part here. This is black schlappen. Schlappen.
Slapping.
Schlappen. There's gonna be schlapping some coho. Be slapping some chum with it. So, oh, that was a knee slapper. That was I can't believe I'm actually laughing at that joke. Anyhow, so we got the schlappen. I'm gonna lay it up on top. And of all of you that have used schlappen, you know that it likes to hold its form, and that is key when it comes to a big profile fly like this one. Is that especially when you're using marabou, as soon as it gets wet, it just goes. It looks like a big worm. When you throw the schlappen in there, it keeps the profile of the fly. So same thing. You want to peel that back so you're not overwrapping it. You want to get into the earthy, lengthy section of that feather, so that it kind of is long enough that it's covering the body a little bit. But at the same hand, you get a break in that contrast of just the pure black, or the blue and the greens, and this kind of, might entice a couple shots, a couple bites. So we're locking that guy down. At this point, knock the feather off. We're going to do the same thing. Peel them feathers all the way back, baby. And once again, we're back wrapping. You can see how that's coming together quite nicely. No profiles coming together. How's that looking, Scotty? Are
That's
you liking
looking
that?
really sexy. I'm just really finding it really hard to believe that you're actually going to throw that thing once you, all that work.
Well, that's what I was
It's
telling people. I'm like,
it's like
this is one of those ties that you're tying when it's raining out.
and it's
And
nothing.
you got nothing happening. You're getting a little bit more on the creative side. I mean, there's a lot of, this isn't a guide fly.
No,
Not
I'm
a
tying.
guide fly.
I'm tying.
This is like personal use. You want to go out, have the upper hand, get a lot of coho slapping going on, a little bit of, chum slapping. But this is one of those flies. I like it myself. Okay, now where am I going? Blue. We're going back to the blue marabou. Same thing. I'm going to cut this one back just a little bit. I'm a little bit too thick on the
You
stem.
put your eyes on right at the end, right?
Oh yeah, lock her down right at the end, tie it all together. So, for you that didn't see what was going on there, see the thickness of this stem? You want to kind of start getting into the thinner stuff, because you'll find that this stuff likes to break when you start manipulating it by bending it, folding it, and wrapping it around. And the last thing you want to do is, once you've locked it down, have your feather break off on you and have to do it all over again. Because I'm sure we've all had that happen before, if you know what I'm saying. So we got our feather. Lock her down right on the main stem there on the marabou. And once again, you don't want to grab it by the tip. You grab it by the tip,
It's done.
you're going to have like 2 or 3 wraps, and bye-bye, it's going to break off. And you don't want that happening. And you don't want to go too crazy with the blue on the marabou on the head, because if you do, you're not going to see all that nice black schlapping. So we're going to leave it kind of like that, a little bit more sparse. Maybe I'll go like another wrap. We'll see what that looks like. I'm just going to, I don't want to push it here, boys. I don't want to push it.
Maybe.
So I think that's okay. I'm going with that. Keeping it somewhat sparse. I want the,
You can always pull some off too.
kind of like those guys that put a little too much salt on their steak. And you don't really have to worry about them sharing, because you really don't want a bite of it. If you know what I'm saying. But this one right here, and I know you know what I'm talking about because you're a chef.
Yeah, I always season my steak before I cook it. That's it.
100%.
And you don't put salt on it after it's cooked. That's
it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this fly. You kind of want to get a feel of what it is that you're looking for. And at that point right there, you see I can still see the little blues or the little blacks in the greens and the red hints coming through. And when that thing hits the water, it's all going to blend together. Like,
you could almost just
I'm trying to think of something else we could say. It blends together kind of like cold beer and cold pizza, or beer and pizza, or what else tastes really good together? Peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Hey,
peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Hey, you know what? I learned another good one too. It was onion and orange sandwich.
Wow.
Funky, but it's good. Try it.
I will.
Hey, we're gonna start a cooking show here. Hey, what do you guys think? You think I'm onto something here? I'm not gonna give up.
You could almost just tie a head on that right now if you didn't want to put the eyes on there. And fish it as an unweighted fly.
I always give my little friend.
I
keep forgetting your daughter's name.
Reese.
Reese, if you're watching the show, I'm giving you a shout out. Popsicle stick with the Velcro on the back. I use this thing every day, and if you ever want to come by and drop off a couple more, I will pay you for them. And if you're feeling real crafty, guys that are watching, make yourself a few of this, because you just seen what happened there. As soon as I gave this thing a little bit of a brush, it came together very nicely. So, at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to throw the big lead eyes on there. I think they're called lead eyes. Yeah, lead eyes. And these guys are in a medium and a 7/32 silver. I like to use silver because sometimes I like to add paint to them. And silver takes paint quite nicely. You'll find with a lot of the other colors like golds and the brasses, they don't really show or take the color as well as silver does. And I'll show you here. Actually, I didn't paint the last one or demonstration, but I will show you on this fly.
Oh, you paint with that hard orange?
Oh yeah, man. Loon Outdoors comes up with this new product that everybody needs to have in their repertoire. This is something that you need to put in your box. So, there you could fish it the way it is right now, but to me that's unfinished. Scotty, would you concur with me? That is an unfinished fly.
Yeah.
It will work.
It would work. No, that's the thing.
We put the lead eyes on top for the reason that the river right now is plumb full of chum salmon, and to limit the amount of foul hookings that you're getting, that is the reason for it. And
make sure you debarb your hook when you.
Once again, we've got this little saliva on the fingers. That's probably why a lot of my flies work so well. It's because I like to lick them a lot. A lot.
And you really got a lot of
fishy breath, you might say. But I guess that would be kind of like baiting.
Bait breath?
Bait breath. Okay, so we're going to wrap a little bit of this dub.
Dub?
I know Scotty here is the dub master. So we're going to get a little bit of that dub on the back. We're going to roll it through the top here, through the eyes. And who doesn't like a redhead? Straight up. My wife's a redhead. I am.
My mom was.
Weakened at the knees by a beautiful redhead.
My mom was redhead.
Is she gray now?
What's that?
Gray now? She gray?
No. She never went gray. She went like
Okay, so this is the tricky part. It's getting that dubber to look pretty. Stacking it in there, make it look pretty. Oh, look at it, it's all coming together, Scotty. There it is. Get rid of the excess. I like to put it on there pretty loose. Some guys are like, man, what is he doing with that dubbing? Well, I'm getting creative. That's what I'm doing. And that's how you make sexy flies, being creative.
Yes.
So the whip finishing kind of ties it all together. Whoa, right, whoa.
You break it right at the end. Oh my god.
That's okay. I'll show you how to save things like this.
Well, it doesn't matter now because you really just have to.
I just need to log it down.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And then put a little bit of head cement. Beautiful.
Okay, which end do I cut here now? Okay, so we got 10 ends coming out. When you got like 10 things going on in the background, pretty easy to just look up for a half second. Next thing you know, your whip finishing tool slips off the end.
Because your hands are so
Greasy from all the saliva. Okay, so whip finish. Bada bing, bada boom.
nice.
Okay, so we're gonna show you a little trick here now.
That's
Now,
what we want to see.
if you can grab me that UV light that's over there. There's
Really?
one. There was one. I think it might be in the red bin there. We're gonna show you what this fly looks like with the UV light. I'm gonna show you what the pattern here. Okay. I don't know, how's that look? Can you see it? Can you see it?
Pretty good.
Hey, producer, how are we looking? Good? Okay, now I'm going to show you this little guy. This stuff right here. Can you see that on the camera okay there, Mr. Producer Man? This is Luno Doors Hardhead. Good stuff. Really good. I'm going to show you something with it. So you can use it as your head cement, but you can also use it as, you can make those beautiful silver eyes like that.
UV.
Give it a little dab on the eye, on the head, lock it all down. I always keep a little chunk of like Q-tip or something laying around, because no matter how good you are, you're always going to get a little bit of head cement straight in the eye of the hook. And this is how you remove it before it dries. It's just a little dab from the Q-tip. Okay, now UV. Can you see that UV showing up on the eye?
Flash. I'll go look.
Okay.
I can see it. Yes.
Yes, you can see it. Our viewers can see it. Anyhow, Sheridan, if I can, I'll get you. That's the new fly tonight. That's called the Introducer. Man, it's sexy. Gotta tie some of these. Yeah, let's go back up top. Take her up top. Are we there? Anyhow, I'd like to thank everybody, our valued viewers, our loyal fans. Check us out on Instagram at Pemberton Fish Finder. No, Instagram is Pemby Fish Finder. Twitter's Pemberton Fish Finder. Our YouTube channel is Pemberton Fish Finder. I mean, if you just Google Pemberton Fish Finder, man, you'll see the long lineup of all our cool stuff that we do online. We share a little bit of extra stuff on G+, and we mix it up on Instagram. We like to humor people and initiate thought. We want to see your creative side, and no fish is safe when you're using our patterns. We've got over 300 patterns, and our website is starting to catch fire, and we really appreciate the fan support. I'd like to thank Benny, Birkenhead Benny, for coming in earlier to tie in a fly, and we've also got Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes is in the house. He's going to take it over. Anyhow, I'm signing out. Permanent Fish Finder, book your tours right here. Looking good. Anyhow, Fish Finder out.